From Philadelphia to Los Angeles, Seattle, Houston, and Denver, the women we met told us that they valued childbearing and children more than the other things they could do with their time. Our subjects had more children because they valued them more than their careers, their passions, and getting a good night's sleep. They valued them so much that when they sized up their own capacities and found them lacking in strength or money or health, they often prayed to be able to have more children, and their prayers were answered. They're everything. They're like the purpose, Amanda said. Amanda had her own version of that story. For me, she explained, I had to have another one, even though my body was done, because I thought, well, there is nothing that will compare or be more worthwhile, so I want to do it as many times as I can. Because when it's over, because this is one part of our life, when the time is over and I miss it, I can say, I did it, though. I had as many as I could in the right way, in the way I wanted to. I did it, though. And no, this charity isn't as fulfilling. It's still good, but I did it. The life of her little ones was her game, her purpose. Like Hannah's super reason, the reason that provided a reason for everything else. The women in our sample ranged in age from 32, born in 1987, to 71, born in 1948. The number of children they had ranged from 5 to 15, with an average of 7. 75% of them were white, 25% reported something else, Black, Hispanic, Asian, Filipino, Jewish, mixed race, or another. They were Baptists, evangelicals, non-denominational Christians, Presbyterians, Mormons, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Jewish, and Roman Catholic. 45% came from families of origin large enough to fit the study sample, with 4 or more siblings, while 55% came from smaller families. 20% had just one sibling growing up, and 7% had none. They came from all walks of life. They had not always jettisoned careers. Some worked full-time, others part-time, and some not at all. The moms had kids ranging from adulthood down to Esther's 10-day-old baby. Some of the moms we interviewed were expecting. 2 who had fully raised their families were already enjoying grandchildren, lots of them. Their narratives taught us that falling birth rates are not a cost problem, at least not the way we normally think about a cost problem. The relevant obstacle to choosing a child, they said, was the cost of missing out on the other things you could have done with your time, your money, or your life. The expected cost of raising a child wasn't the main thing, because that cost, future and uncertain, was also in terms of what else you could do with money in the future. The women in our sample at every income level talked about giving up other things to pay the expenses of a child. They also talked about the expenses being a lot smaller than people thought, and about unexpected turns of fortune that had made paying for children easier after they had them. But the price they really leaned into, the real cost of children, was what they had to give up. They talked about sleepless nights, about giving up comforts, plans, hobbies, status, a clean house, giving up alone time, giving up achievements, giving up freedom, giving up meeting your own needs. Having children and parenting is all about living for someone else, not yourself, one mom named Jen opined. These costs, they granted, were big and consequential. Yes, the losses meant parts of yourself had to die, they said, to be unrealized, as it were, but they were only dead for a time. They would be transformed, brought forth in the crucible of suffering, and redeemed by the very children they would bear. They would give up something of themselves, but their children would give it back to them with interest. The women told stories of healing and growth. We've seen miracles, Esther told us. The upshot of all this? They believe the nation would be happier and more virtuous if we spent more of our adult lives taking care of children, and if our children grew up with more siblings.